My name is Merle Singer. I'm the Relationship Miracle Worker, and welcome to Merle's Pearls of Business Wisdom, where I discuss all things relationship and how they affect the office, the workplace. Today's topic is competition, using competition as a workplace skill, technique, versus too much competition, over competition. Over competition isn't helpful. So I think often we talk about cooperation versus competition, but I'm going to save that for another time. I mean, because everything, it's like the different colors of the rainbow. Everything is beautiful in its place, with its right amount, in the right connection, with the right other colors next to it. Everything, all of our skills that we have value, but we have to use the value. We don't have to use it, but I would recommend that we use the value of it and not. And so, and what does that mean? That means that there are some parts of your life and your work life that benefit from cooperation. But sometimes, even as a manager, what you want to do is create a sense of energy. And sometimes competition does that. In the same way that a bunch of people, usually a bunch of guys, shoot baskets. Really, they're competing against themselves, trying to get as many baskets as they can. They're trying to increase their skill at getting baskets. But having the other guys around creates that little sense of competition that pushes them just to try a little harder. Because when they get a basket, other people see it. And that's kind of fun when other people see your success. It happens that they're probably going to see some of your failures as well, but all the more reason for them to see your success. Okay, so that's the difference between cooperation and competition. And each has its place and value. That's cool. But what I want to concentrate a little bit today about is too much of a good thing. So you can have competition, and that's good. It's great with sports. It's great in technology. It's even in education. Anywhere where it's, I think, how's this? I think competition is kind of like putting spice on your food. If you get the right spice in the right amount, it totally enhances what you're eating. And competition with, the right competition in the right place with the right amount, that gets your juices flowing. It creates a kind of fun, like all those games, computer games. And so, okay, that's a good use of competition. But, please know, everything can be a little bit too much of. And so what could happen? If you if you push too much, it creates stress. I guess because there's a certain level at which you can do and maintain over a period of time. But if it's just like running a race, if you give it your all, well, you just can't keep that up forever. That's to, for when you're like right at the finish line, or it's right halfway up the race that you and maybe it's the whole race, but there's an extra push at the end. At least the ones that win, you can see in a race, you can see that they've given another push just to get them over that finish line first. So what am I trying to say with that? I'm trying to say, yes, competition is good. Yes, a little push is good. Yes, but not consistently. I mean, you can push beyond your comfort on a regular basis. But it's how much do you push? If you over push, you just run out of gas, which for us is oxygen. And so everything you do is measured. Make it past your comfort zone. But if you have to push all the way to your limit, then let it be just for a short period of time to get over the finish line, because you can't maintain that much extra push for any length of time. And if you ask your employees to do that, they can't do it. You'll make them sick. They'll either get sick emotionally, mentally, physically, or all of the above. So it sounds funny to say, give that extra push in moderation. And maybe you don't even have to gear the amount of energy, as long as you create a sense of friendly competition. Okay, it doesn't have to be friendly. It has to be game-like. It has to appeal to your employees' sense of fun. So doing something, and if you can do a little faster, or I got this great shortcut, it creates innovation. But you need to do it in a way that creates an atmosphere of fun, like in athletics, or I think computer games push really hard. So that's the difference between competition, which creates innovation. It certainly causes improvement. It promotes efficiency. It stimulates growth. Cool. These are all excellent things. But I think I don't know if I'm being too influenced by the Democratic convention or Kamala Harris's sense of having a kind of a sense of joy and bringing that energy. She's trying to bring it into the campaign. I think you can bring it into your days at work. And you can be the one that's doing it. You can be the one that's leading it. In either way, it's not what my notes say. It's not what they write about. But I think that probably has something to do with the difference between constructive, healthy competition that really moves the work project forward and overstraining. Because overstraining it causes other issues, and none of them are good. So, and I guess as certainly as a young person, I never liked competition. And I think now that I think about it, it's because it never seemed joyful. It always seemed too angsty. And that's probably because I was seeing over competition. I remember going to the tennis courts with my brother, 4 years older. And we were, I don't know, 18 and whatever. So, we were young adults. And playing a game of tennis. And every time my brother got the ball, boom, he did it, right over those slams where you can't, you have to dive to get the ball. And I got so mad, I said, if all you do is that, we're never going to have a volley. I thought the fun of tennis was having a good volley. That was kind of fun. That's a fun. Clearly, I'm not basically competitive. I walked off. I was so annoyed. But I see the value. The Olympics. Extraordinary performance. Just, this is certainly people going to their limit. You watch them, and I don't see it in the gymnasts. You see it in the races where they just pass out. They hit the finish line, phenomenal, and then they just pass out. Not literally, but they fall. They don't fall. They lay on the ground and pant. It's an exciting way to be, but if you overcompete, you have burnout, you have stress. What happens is, so you can have competition, but look at a basketball, look at all of the sports. The amazing thing, everybody talks about the competition in sports, but you know what's amazing about sports is the amount of cooperation. If you get to the big leagues where people know you, when your sports are televised, you're that good, okay? You have learned. The competition is just to get your skill really good. But what wins the game is that your skill is really good, but you cooperate and you work with your other teammates. And when you see a winning game, that is beautiful. And everybody's celebrating the competition. But really, if you look at it, what won the game was the cooperation. Okay, it was both. But competition isn't when you compete. Okay, competition on its own is when you compete with yourself. When you say, okay, I did this in 4 minutes, I want to do it in 3 minutes, whatever. So I read about, and I have to tell you about, if I can find it, when you overcompete, yes, Enron. So I read about this. I remember Enron. I don't remember the details. So it tells a story. Enron was once a really high-flying energy company. And it's a classic example of over competition and what it can do to you, what it can do to the company. This relentless pursuit for outperforming rivals can lead to disastrous results. So, for instance, in the drive to stay ahead of competitors, Enron's corporate culture became increasingly aggressive and unethical. Employees felt immense pressure to engage in risky and deceitful practices to meet performance targets, leading to the company's infamous collapse in 2001. This case highlights how extreme competition can drive organizations to sacrifice ethical standards and employee well-being for short-term gains. So that's what I mean by overcompetition. And, you can find it in retail, you can find it in all businesses, and you can find it in education, and you can find it everywhere there are people. So what am I saying? I mean, what does this all amount to? It amounts to, there's a place for everything, and that place needs to be carefully considered, well measured. Food is the sustenance. I mean, you need food to eat. I mean, to live, you need food to live. But too much food is bad for you, will hurt you. So competition is like food. It does create energy that enables you to be more resourceful, more energized in innovation. And that's all too much of it, and you're an Enron. Don't want that. So if you grew up like me with a negative feeling of competition, understand what I taught myself, which is, yes, that's true if you're talking about over competition, but there is a place for competition, and that place is the place that brings you energy and joy, thinking about, how it just like gives you extra vitamins, so that maybe it's like a drink of coffee. Get you revved up. That's the value of competition. So use it for its value. That's it. Don't go overboard with food or competition. Nowhere else will you get an analogy of competition and food. But I see the analogy very clearly. So I hope this has been fun for you and also gave you something to think about. I will be back next week. And don't forget, thank you for listening to Merle's Pearls of Business Wisdom with me, Merle Singer, your relationship miracle worker. You can find this episode and all past episodes of Relationship Miracle at relationshipmiracleworker.com/podcast. You can also get it on Spotify and Amazon Music and all the other, platforms. So do that and sign up. We need your fellowship. Other places you can give them fellowship. I'm asking for some fellowship. And have a great week. Have a little competitive fun or fun competition, and otherwise cooperate with your fellow workers. Jay, I'm just closing off, so listen to the podcast when you can. It's at relationshipmiracleworker.com/podcast. Otherwise, come on a little earlier next week and have a great week. Take care, everybody.